Hi Aquarius, and welcome to your December 2020 General Tarot Forecast. This is Sky here to talk about the energies coming in for your month ahead. I love the energies that I'm feeling coming up for you, Aquarius. I absolutely love them. I hope you guys enjoy the reading, and if you do, be sure to hit that subscribe button below and turn on those bell notifications because, the next year ahead of 2021 is going to be all about Aquarius. I think you guys are going to be right at the forefront of the energies, and you're going to feel like a lot more yourself, a lot more, not fitting into the mold of other people, but claiming your own individuality. So claiming your own individuality is also what the month of December is about, because we will not be having this Jupiter, Saturn, Pluto conjunct in Capricorn after this month passes right at the third week there in December. Jupiter and Saturn will be moving to conjunct in your sign. I'm sure you guys have heard all about it on YouTube. We're all talking about this incredible conjunction. And by now, I probably have a video specifically about that too by the time you're watching this. So check my channel for that new wave Jupiter-Saturn conjunct in Aquarius video if you want to know more about that energy in and of itself. But for you, Aquarius, this is going to be like a grand calling. This is going to be like a call to action for you. This month, especially later in the month, is going to probably catalyze you into a new sense of purpose and give you something that you can wield into the next few chapters of your life very strongly. I think there is a genius coming into the Aquarian archetype. I think there is innovation and clarity and psychic ability and incredible philosophical expansion, along with metered reserve and ability to, be repetitive, ability to keep going, ability to push through, Jupiter and Saturn coming together is really, it's just so incredible for your sign. It's almost going to make you a little bit of a superhero. And feeling that coming on, you got to kind of be careful about what you choose to take on, I think. What you choose to, focus, because you might feel like you can focus everything. You might feel like an eccentric mix is the best choice with whatever goals or whatever things you have coming up in front of you. And maybe exercise a bit of caution in how many things you're taking on or how many people you're helping on. Are you the savior of other people? Are other people needing you to come and be their hero? Are other people relying on you in a very codependent way? That could be possible. And really setting it straight here in December will help you to get through the next few years, really being able to accomplish what you want to accomplish and not being subservient so much to other people. More about December specifically, though. So 3 of Swords and 5 of Cups are coming up, and I'm a little bit surprised, but that does happen a lot when you have a huge transition like this. There are things that don't come along, and that can be hard to reconcile. So you guys are going to maybe see that a relationship ends, or that a place that you were focusing a lot of energy on for a long time is not really the focus anymore. And that hurts at first, but then it gives you the actual space to fill up your life in a new way. So that's what I feel your energy most prominently is this month, is a new space to fill up to fill with your energy in a new way. So it's not about reclaiming the old. I mean, you could bring some older aspects of your life into a new, innovative space, but it's going to be really best, especially at this early part of this transit, to maybe make something totally brand new. So for the entrepreneurs out there, this is the time to be brainstorming that new product. For the family people out there who are maybe having to deal a lot with family, this is the time to get that new house probably, or to change your space or introduce a new activity into your family. For the people out there who are trying to find a relationship, it is the time for a new relationship as well, or a new career path. Something new is probably going to come in at the end of December. And then that's going to kind of kickstart this phase from about December to March of 2021, where we're expanding enough just to step on that path. And then I would say by late March of 2021, it's happening and it's set in place. So even though this is only a December video, it's already starting to expand you to the point, Aquarius, that you're thinking of the larger future, I think. So let's talk about the week to week for you guys in December. In the first week of December, you have the Seven of Pentacles rooted down by Page of Swords. So you are at an end phase, and you are highlighting and looking over what you've accumulated over that time, over these last few years, probably since about December of 2017, when Saturn went into Capricorn. Saturn's about to change sign again, and we all need to look over what we've come through the time of Saturn in Capricorn with. Saturn has been in its favorite sign, and it's about to change into Aquarius, which is another one of its favorite signs. It's the traditional ruler of Aquarius. So it's such a benevolent time to take stock. It's such a benevolent time to be able to really recognize what we do have and what we might want to get rid of and what we want to add. All of those types of thoughts right now are really auspicious. It seems that we can make really good decisions, especially as Aquarian people, regarding what we are holding on to and keeping in our life. Now, that's rooted down by Page of Swords, so there's going to be some kind of communication involved. Looking at your communication style, looking at who's trying to be in touch with you, looking at how you communicate and how you speak and how you create changes in your life through communication. That's going to be really important, because maybe Aquarius's most powerful feature might be their voice. I'm feeling throat chakra. I'm feeling like the way you communicate and the way that you introduce ideas to the world is where the magic is. So as you're taking stock and you realize what you do and don't want, it's then going to be about communicating that to the people around you and inspiring them maybe through your communication to help you or to, commit to something. Or even if you're like a business owner, really inspiring your employees, or, as an employee, also really inspiring your boss or something. It feels like we can really overcome some of these hierarchical issues just through a content level of inspiration coming through and sort of defying these lines a little bit more. Second week Aquarius, Judgment rooted down by Five of Cups. So this is the final week of the sort of precursor, the prologue to your time. Okay, the prologue to this new wave Jupiter-Saturn energy. And that might come with a stark emotional experience. It's usually really hard hitting. I mean, Jupiter and Saturn conjunct once every 20 years. So it doesn't happen very frequently, only a few times in a person's life. And for everybody, regardless of what sign it's in, it causes a big, usually change in heart, a shift in philosophy, a shift in meaning. Like the meaning of life gets redetermined with Jupiter-Saturn conjunct. So, what causes us to reevaluate the meaning of our own lives? That's what's coming up for you in the second week of December, really strongly. And usually it's not just easy, fun, nonchalant situations that cause us to start thinking that way, is it? It's usually some type of, stark feeling of perhaps betrayal or loss or grief or bereavement that makes us redefine what we're doing in our life and why. Like the why of our lives, the why of your life, Aquarius, comes up in the second week. And there's a rebirth there because, and you're lucky, Jupiter and Saturn coming to conjunct in your sign at 0 degrees, right at the cusp, is reinvigorating. That's like, especially if you're a sun in Aquarius or even like an Aquarius rising. Aquarius moon is a little bit of a different story because Saturn to the moon is always more difficult. So if you're like moon in Aquarius and watching this has more of an emotional implication. But especially for the sun in Aquarius people, this is going to be revitalizing. This is going to be like a brand new course of energy, a brand new look at how you interact with the world around you. And probably also a look at how you're doing with your physical body. So how your health is, how your vitality is in general, definitely up for revision. So the revision of vitality with Jupiter and Saturn coming together. Jupiter and Saturn together are like a revision. Jupiter is about vision and Saturn is about restructuring. So it's like revision together. And that can go in a few different ways. Revisions can be good and bad. It's not really a positive or negative energy. The energy of Jupiter-Saturn conjunct, it is kind of a chaotic neutral, but it can swing either way pretty quick. But for Aquarius, it's that revision of energy, and the second week of December is going to start that. And try to keep your head up. Try to remember where your strengths are. Try to remember what you are good at and to implement that in some way. And that's what's going to wake you up. It's interesting in the Judgment card, they're all looking up, but in the Five of Cups card, they're all looking down. It's like opposites. It's antithetical. It's Jupiter, Saturn, So there's a choice. There's a choice of, do we keep our head up or do we keep our head down? Third week Aquarius, you have the world rooted down by King of Cups. So that's when the conjunction happens. Right during that winter solstice, or I suppose summer solstice in the southern hemisphere, winter in the northern hemisphere. So it's just such a sacred timing for the conjunction to happen right on a solstice point and on a cusp. This is like crazy stuff going on here. The implications not only to the individual, but to the macrocosmic collective is immense. And it's hard to predict what way it could go. I'm not even going to really try to predict it. Definitely check out the Jupiter-Saturn conjunct to see anything along those lines. But it's not really about predetermining. And I like to make that clear on my channel, is these videos are not really here to predetermine how things are going to be for people. Sometimes people take a lot of security and a lot of stock in feeling as if they have the future figured out, because it's like a control issue, and no, we don't have control over the future in any way. It could be this way one day, but then some kind of catalyst comes into our life and it totally changes the course or the momentum of experiences. But what I can say about the third week of December as a collective potential is that you're going to have a complete ending of the way you've emotionally energized. And that's going to really kick off this physical change too, because maybe we don't have to have these codependent relationships that make us feel as if we're loved and held. And without them, even though they're codependent, we cannot really breathe by ourselves. I think it's a very strong independence signal with the world and King of Cups. Like, we're getting emotionally evolved enough to build our own world. We're getting emotionally evolved enough to not have our world, our sense of well-being, depending on these people or these codependent relationships. There's definitely something about codependency for Aquarius, and that's shifting really strongly to independence. And how do you feel about that? As you're hearing that, what do you really feel about the need of others, or the social necessity within the human condition? Socialization is necessary. It is a part of our livelihood. I'm not trying to shun socialization because it is necessary, and anybody who acts as if it's not would not really be taking into account health at a broader level. But so we need friends, we need relationships, and we need to reproduce as well. So there are these drives and there are these aspects of ourselves that we have to consider just when it comes to our health, not even to our, thinking of like, oh, I wish I had this relationship, or I wish I was single, or I wish la la la. All of those things are like branching off from these central points of instinct and human condition needs. And that's where this is all operating. That's where this Jupiter-Saturn conjunct is operating. It's like in that whole system. What branches off? Like what does it need to like reproduce, create as it branches off? Does it then create a desire to date? Does it create a desire to do, whatever? Does it then, if that doesn't happen, with having like restrictions and, different things, like if we're prevented from that, how does that then branch off into like an issue of insecurity or an issue of self-concept? And then that then branches off into a desire to like look into self-help or to look at, readings on YouTube. And then that branches, and then we get all these things that are like, construed away from the central point of need. So we have to address the central point and the central theme of things. Absolutely. In the third week of December, what do we need to survive? What are we negating from ourselves? Because I bet everybody coming from this Capricorn, this restrictive Capricorn energy, has had something that they've not given to themselves or that they've deprived themselves of in a need to feel stronger. Because when we risk and we go on that date, or we start that new relationship, or we start that new job, there's no guarantee that that's going to be good for us. We are fulfilling a central need by allowing ourselves to do it, but within the conscious mind, there's no guarantee that it won't be a horrendously damaging chapter of life in the long run. So through that fear, the Capricorn energy of the past, made us cut ourselves off a lot and not even risk it, because we're not going to risk having something get out of our control like that. We are asked, and especially Aquarians, I think, are asked to be like the pioneers of this in the third week as this is happening in your sign, are asked to be the pioneers of those of us who are not any longer afraid of satiating the central themes of our lives, what we need, what we are here for, what we are creating. And it feels like you guys have to rise to that emotional maturity with King of Cups and start to create this world, or start to create this, your own world, or your own sort of complex almost system, like a clock of different needs being fulfilled in high vibrational ways. That seems to be how this starts to heal us up. Fourth week, 3 of Swords, rooted down by Ace of Pentacles. So your benevolence does come through addressing where some of these things have gone wrong. I think just like what I'm talking about, where the dating doesn't go well, but you still have a need to, socialize or whatever. Drawing all of those conclusions then gives a very strong gift. So speaking about your experiences, comment below what you're thinking about all of this, because I think just the insights of Aquarius is really important right now. Because you guys have sort of a leg up of understanding the energy. But you guys, I think the main thing is with King of Cups 2 and 5 of Cups and 3 of Swords, there is something kind of painful about what you're going through or what you've been through. And that needs to now, what do I want to say? It's like it gives back to you now. It's like interest on pain. The return on pain that does really happen very strongly on Earth through going through difficult experiences. A lot of times people, they either just step off of a feeling of sanity, or they reap returns. It's like karma. So getting karma back for Aquarius in the 4th week of December, enough to get you to a level that you can channel this Jupiter-Saturn, because some of you are going to be very enterprising. Some of you are going to be very entrepreneurial, it looks like. Some of you are going to be like great enthusiasts, or great even like politicians, or there's something along the lines of Aquarius, like really having an insight into collective themes. But my point being is that doesn't come easy. And I also think that you guys need to overcome this right as you step into it, where we start getting into this cycle of like, okay, difficult, return. Like, I'm getting a return on difficulty. I'm getting a return on hard work. And when I say hard work, I mean like painfully hard work. That's what gives me returns. You guys have to transcend that before you even step into this, where it's about meaningful work, where it is about, yes, no longer needing difficult experiences, but still taking the return on what you have been through and using that motivationally. Beautiful, beautiful dialogues coming up for you this month, Aquarius. It's really, really incredible. I've really, talking around it has been very semantic and very complex, and I feel a little drained, but it's like trying to understand this energy on this side of it, while Jupiter, Saturn, and Pluto are still in Capricorn. It's like kind of tough and heavy. So I'm going to conclude on that note. I can't wait to come back and talk to you guys in January when this is actually in effect, so I can understand it a little bit better. But do hit the thumbs up on this video if you enjoyed it, and hit the subscribe button. Also, I'm going to do an extended reading on Patreon for those of you who would like to sign up. You can get all the extended readings. You can get all these readings early and ad-free over there. And I do weekly forecasts that are only on Patreon. So you can click the center of your screen, and it's also in the description box below if you would like to support this channel and get a lot more bonus content. So thank you so much, Aquarius. I will talk to you soon, and have a great December. Bye.